Hi, welcome to St. James and our virtual Parents Weekend. Unfortunately, we can't meet each other in person this year, so this will have to do for now. My name is Colin Ponder, if you don't know me already. I am from Lynchburg, Virginia originally. I went to the College of William and Mary, graduated with a degree in English and Religious Studies, and I have now been teaching for 6 years, 5 years here at St. James. What drew me to St. James? I've kind of always known that I wanted to be a teacher. Both of my parents are teachers. It's in my blood, I guess you could say. But more specifically, my father was the dean of students at my high school. I went to a small boarding school, very similar to St. James, called Virginia Episcopal School in Lynchburg, and I really just fell in love with the community aspect to it. It's when I got into teaching, I knew that that's what I wanted out of a school. I wanted a place where I could get to know my students and not say goodbye to them at the end of the day. I wanted a place where I could teach them and coach them and live in the dorm with them and eat meals with them and really get to know them and build those close relationships that I was able to build with my own teachers. So that's what drew me to St. James. And I think I found what I was looking for. What we've been doing in this class so far this year for American literature, for that, let me pull up our class syllabus really quickly, just as a sort of starting point. To begin with, you'll notice my email address at the top here, cponder@stjames.edu. If for any reason you ever need to get in touch with me about anything, that is the easiest way. I have my email, as we all do, sort of, it's linked to my phone, it's linked to my watch. I'll get buzzed immediately if you send me one, and I can get back to you as quickly as I can as well. You can also send me Blackbaud messages. I just may not see those as quickly as I will in email. So again, if you ever need to get in touch with me about anything, please feel free to email me at any point. Moving on to our book list. We started the year kind of looking at our summer reading with Old School by Tobias Wolff, a story about this young boy at a boarding school who unfortunately makes the wrong decisions and has to sort of deal with those consequences. But it's a great book to sort of talk about ideas of honor and integrity and what they mean. And now we are moving into our first novel of the year, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Looking ahead to the rest of the year, we have Death of a Salesman, Huck Finn, Their Eyes Were Watching God, and then we end with The Great Gatsby. I'm not going to go through all of this word for word. I don't want to just sort of read to you through a computer screen. If you wish, you can always pause this video and sort of read things more closely. But I do want to sort of just hit a few points as we go through here before we have to finish up this video. So if we're looking under course description, and I've included the description from the website and then sort of one in my own words. This is American literature, so I'm trying to, despite the brevity of American history, really present a wide array of styles and authors to my students. Authors from all different walks of life, different genders, different races, and we actually began the year looking at a decent amount of short stories, partly because I wanted my students to write more frequently, shorter writing assignments to get a lot of feedback to really reinforce those writing skills. But now that we're moving on into our novels, those writing assignments will grow, and really that's the focus of the class. The class, for all intents and purposes, is a writing course. So we are reading these books, we are discussing these books in great detail, but at the end of the day, the reason we're doing that is so that we can write about them. Those class discussions, we're working on forming arguments and defending ourselves and defending our viewpoints, but really that's so that we can do those same things in our essays later. We can craft specific and detailed thesis statements We can support those thesis statements with evidence from the text. We can really learn how to properly put forward our own ideas and our own viewpoints and support those viewpoints. So as this is American literature, and American literature is closely tied with American history, I spend a lot of time really focusing on the historical context in which these books were written and how they are representative and critical and at times influential in their contemporary world. We will focus on ways in which literature has brought about and inspired social and political change throughout American history, the impact that literature has really had on the United States as a country. So, for example, as we're reading The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, yes, we are talking about themes of the individual versus society and how society is sort of depicted as corrupt, and Huck is this outsider who is finding truth away from society and all those sorts of things. But we will also focus on the depiction of Jim and how Jim is depicted in sort of a stereotypical manner as lazy and superstitious and unintelligent, and how these superstitions have then, how these stereotypes have then sort of shaped and influenced collective thinking in America throughout the years. How the fugitive slave law of 1850 plays a role in Huck Finn. What did American society look like when Huck Finn was first published? What statement is it making, and how is it representing that society? Those are sort of the deeper questions that I really want to focus on. And in relation to that, how can we compare Huck Finn to something like Uncle Tom's Cabin, a novel that had obvious and direct sort of political and social impact in this country? So I suppose to wrap that up and sort of restate that, yes, we are reading these books and we're talking about what's happening in these books, but to a larger degree, we are really focusing on the impact that literature has had on American society and American history. And I do my best to create a respectful and an unbiased classroom where students can feel comfortable sort of sharing their own ideas and viewpoints. I never want to influence my students one way or the other, but I do want them to think for themselves and come up with their own opinions and try to share those opinions with their classmates, but also listen and learn from classmates who may have different opinions from themselves. That's my ultimate goal this year in this class. Just because time is precious for us right now with this video, I won't go through the rest of this syllabus in too much detail. If you wish to pause the video and read through this for yourself, obviously feel free to do so. I do have some classroom expectations here for both in-person and online learners, and class safety guidelines and my grading policy here on the final page. All homework assignments throughout the year for virtual students and students here in person on campus can always be found on our class Blackboard page. If you ever have questions about assignments that your child may have, you can always refer to our class Blackboard page. Everything will be there. So just to wrap up, as I've said, obviously this is a very strange year in lots of ways. And unfortunately, we don't have the ability to meet each other and talk to each other in person this weekend. So this will have to do for now. But I look forward to the day when I can meet all of you and speak with all of you. Again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me. Email me, cponder@stjames.edu, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Until then, until we can meet each other in person, have a great day. I'm sure you have other videos to watch as well. So see you later, and go Saints.